flyers were made and they were made ready and available for all events per time by the Directorate. So for local organizations, project and programs management, that's the planning, execution and post-project evaluation, all this was done. Next. The project that have been executed thus far is Vote Your Voice campaign, Hangout with the Elites, Elite Business Masterclass, Elite Signature Courses, Elite JCI presenting how much a free program project. They're together in one project. And then the Conclave and the Elite L Drive project that are to come, Elite Business Growth Seminar, China David Breakfast Meeting, Performing in Tech, Adopt School, Elite Club, 2023 Convention, the Judge in 2023 Mental Health Day. Remarks which also serve as recommendation. So on behalf of myself and the Directorate and my care, we appreciate the entire membership of JCI Ibadan for their support, and we encourage the continuity in the course of the year. The year is yet to end, and even after the year. We encourage members to attend projects and programs organized by the local organization. Yes, we appreciate that members have been attending, but I believe members can do better and we can have more people attend the programs. We encourage members to support projects with funds, partnership, and also in the planning of the committee. This year we're able to have a sensible amount of funds and partnership, but somewhat we didn't have enough people on the planning committee. Some people opted to join the committee, but they were quite inactive. So we encourage members to try to be active on the planning committee pages and ensure that they are part of the entire local organization. Let's all hands on deck. Members are also advised to, members should always give advice and give ideas and encouragement on how to achieve local vision. Like I said, it's our local organization. Let's all put hands on deck, whether by advice or encouragement or ideas. Let's not sit back and wait till something is not going well, then there is comment back at it. It's for us, we are just about it. So this is our comment and remarks. The conclusion, I have memo for the discussion and subsequent adoption of this annual report. To the Admiral Vice President Internal.
Thank you so much for that. A seconder, please. Seconded by JC Ganiat. Thank you so much for that. Do we have questions, contributions for the annual report as presented? JC Glory for you.
President, leader asked us fellow JCI got at least board members, JCI sessions fellow JCI Mr. President, the name you mentioned to support that motion is not JCI.
Okay, thank you so much for that. So what's the name, please?
The name is JC Okoye.
Okay, so seconded by JC Okoye at BBC. Thank you so much. There are some projects for Directorate. JCI Ambassador Goodness Martin, you have the floor.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you for that presentation. I was just seeing most of the recommendations and most of the work done by the directors on that organization, and that showed that we are able to broaden them also. But I want to go back to the first slide. I'm thinking we should judge you by how many of the directors are presenting or presented their report today. Because some minutes ago I had Mr. President complain that some members were not able to present today because they did not submit their reports. So maybe we start backing our script by looking at your Directorate, checking for how many of them presented their report today.
Should all pass it.
So, Director of Projects, Director of Growth, Director of Publicity, Director of Awards. Next slide. All right, thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you. Mr. Babati, maybe 2 minutes I want to give the floor to you. You are taking 1 minute from it. So you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Leading Past President, board members of this Ibadan leads, JCI Senator present, past presidents seated, fellow JCs, friends, guests, and observers. Mr. President, I would like to I quickly commend Madam Vice President because, I mean, our work rate is, coming to the work crazy. I remember when we started working on ADMC together, at 1 o'clock, we are still in a meeting. At 2 a.m. and I'm wondering, yes, this is happening. And first thing in the morning, not this coming. And first thing in the morning, when you wake up, you are seeing a message or an actionable. She don't sleep me, and she did that with a lot of projects also this year. It is very encouraging, and I trust that we will keep seeing more of your good work and hard work. Well done. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you so much for that. Any other comment, questions, contributions? Okay, so I have comments and questions. And first, I want to say kudos to you for that fantastic presentation. And more so, I want to say thank you for all you do for the local organization. I've known JCI for since 2019. And our work ethics has been fantastic. Though some of them comes with a lot of troubles, wala and the likes. But thank you for putting a lot of effort in making sure that things are done, things are delivered, and thank you for all you do for the local organization. So I think you can have your seat while we take the next annual report from the Director of Protocol, JC Victor Konoga. You have the floor.
All right, thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, Mr. Past President, fellow board members, JCI senators in our midst, JCI Ibadan elite past presidents, JCI members here, guests and observers. My name is Victor Onuka, and I am here to present the 2023 report for the Directorate of Public Relations and Protocol. Let's go. All right, so we have team members. You will notice that the first on the team, actually we started with no original person attached to me as a supervising vice president, but however, being it as it may that the immediate past director of protocol happens to be there, but that's an oversight. It was supposed to be executive advisor. All right, okay, so let's move on. All right, so we had objectives for the year to project the image and activities of JCI Ibadan Elite throughout 2023, to establish a working relationship between our LO and authorities that are relevant to the successful implementation of our programs and projects. We also had objectives to collaborate with other directors to ensure smooth running of the year focus, to ensure that government sectors, ministries, corporate organizations, and agencies where we have projects and programs for the year are involved in our programs and projects, and of course to ensure the proper coordination of every courtesy visit from our LO, and to ensure the proper documentation and projection of all courtesy visits. Let's move on. So we had different action plans on how to move. Let's move. And then we kept going. We had people, we had individuals, we had organizations and ministries that we outlined to pay visits to and solicit different kinds of support and endorsement. Then move on. Move on. So we made courtesy visits, numerous courtesy visits to the Ministry of Trade and Commerce, where we visited on purpose to seek for endorsement for Elite Business Masterclass 3.0, and then we got the endorsement, and then we went on to Preston Health Limited, where we visited our very own JCI Senator Shino Adegole to appreciate him for his continued support, and of course to seek more support. And in that meeting, we were able to secure a business breakfast meeting, which will be coming up as stated earlier on by the Director of Projects. And then we went to Ace Mall where we saw the CEO, Mr. Inka Afonja, to seek his support and to invite him as a speaker for EBMC 3.0. And of course, he accepted and he showed up. And from the feedback we got, people said that was one of the best sessions that they listened to. We also went to Educational Advancement Center EAC, where we visited JCI Senator Muyiwa Bamboshe to seek support for LO's event, especially EBMC 3.0, and of course the job fair that we'll be holding later. And we went to Forestry Research Institute of Nigeria, where we saw the Director General, and then he was able to give us 500 plus tree seedlings, and then also gave us resource persons that followed us and will continue to follow us every time we have plantings to do in all the schools. And then we visited some media houses at 2FM. I was there, they used our promotionals, and then they had guest interviews for us. We also visited Royal Roots for collaboration with Business Masterclass 3.0. We also did for Inspiration FM, and then we had our programs, airing of promotionals, promotional materials, and of course, business interviews for members. And then Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State, BCOS, Ibadan, where visits were made to the GM at that point. Is no longer there now, and then for support from BCOS, and then he later came as a personality of the month for our subsequent GA. We also paid visits to the Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget, Lagos State, where we had the commissioner for that ministry as our keynote speaker or team speaker for EBMC 3.0. We recently had a visit to Balogun Sheye Farm Ojuro to seek support for 2023 Convention and Teacher, and then he accepted to help us facilitate the presence of the First Lady of Oyo State in our forthcoming 2023 Convention and Teacher. And then we had another visit to the JCI Senator Olawale Bakari, that's the immediate past President, JCI Nigeria, to seek support for the year of expounding opportunities, and we got the full support. These are pictures. Please feed your eyes with some pictures. Visited different places and then different ministries and different organizations to seek support. That was in Lagos. That was BCOS and so many other. Let's move. Okay, with JCI Senator Shina Adebole, that's the visit to Mr. Afonja. And then now when JCI Senator Shina Adebole was 60, we also paid, we represented the NO at that very ceremony, and that's the picture there. And yeah, let's keep on. Okay, when we were at Free, we visited the DG rather, and of course some other people who facilitated the process for us. Yes, this was our last visit, which happened last week to Balogun Sheye Farm Ojuro. Okay, remarks, we can skip. Let's move to the next one because of time. Let's move. All right, so recommendation, the director should work with other directors and chairman to achieve more and to better project the image of the LO. A team of members should always go on visits, not one or two. And then usage of the print media in covering our events should be encouraged in the coming years. I, Victor Onuka, the Director of Public Relations and Protocol 2023, hereby move for the discussion and subsequent adoption of this report. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Is there a contact, please? JC particularly. Seconded by JC particularly. Thank you so much for that. Do we have questions, comments, contributions, please? Questions, comments? Okay, so if there's no question or comment, maybe you are so clear and everybody understands you, or maybe you don't even understand everything you say. Okay, so I have comments, and I want to commend you for the job well done. I know several times when we have impromptu meetings, I will quickly call you, JC Victor, tomorrow we have the quarter visits, will you be available? And you do I will try, and most of the time, you always make yourself available. So thank you so much for that. Thank you for the good jobs that you're doing for the local organization. I know we still have 2 months to go, and we look forward to seeing more of quarter visits and alignment with top personalities in our organizations. Thank you so much for all you do. Thank you so much for all you do.
What else?
So thank you so much, everyone. Then we'll move on to the next item on our agenda, which is the information reaching me right now is that we still have like 5 of our directors or officers who are yet to present their annual report. Their annual report, and as such,
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, immediate past president, board members of JCI Ibadan, lead JCI Senator, present JCI, past president of JCI Ibadan, lead fellow JCs, friends, guests, and observers. Mr. President, I think it's a little bit worrisome, permit me to say, that board members will not present reports at AGM. Last year we had a similar scenario, and I think because there was no serious consequence, we are having a repeat of that again at this AGM. The AGM is supposed to be where we sit down and assess what a particular directorate has done. So because of this, because we are having this happen again, Mr. President, I want to move a motion that directors that did not present their report and did not give a tangible reason be fined, and directors from last year who were fined last year and they did not pay the fine should be doubled. If they are running for office, the office they are running for should be stepped down until the fine is paid. I so move, Mr. President. Thank you.
One else, please. A second after that. JC Owosa, seconded by JC Owosa. So it's also very worrisome that as a director or as an officer in our local organization, some of our officers who are supposed to present their report have not presented, though there are some of them who has genuine reason for not being there and not presenting today, which I know 1 or 2 of them. However, anyone that we know that doesn't have a genuine reason for presenting or submitting their report, I think should be fined as moved. How much we are to fine them, I will open it to the House for suggestion. So I've opened the floor for the amount of fine that we should place on any officer that is yet to present their annual report without genuine reason. JC Timothy Oladen, you have the floor for the suggestion.
Good afternoon, Mr. President, Video Past President, JCI and the lead board members, leaders, senators, and analysts, guests, friends, and observers. So, Mr. President, as it was moved, so I would like, based on their office, we should, based on their respective directorates, we should charge them.
Yeah, correct.
20,000.
20,000. So we'll look for. Now we look for other suggestions. Then we will now vote on the direction that we should go for. JCI and Ambassador Goodness Market.
All right. Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, board members of JCI and the elite, senators in our midst, fellow JC's guests and friends. Let me start by sounding like it sounded that it's unfair and highly unexpected to know that a board member is not going to present at an AGM today. Mr. President, I'm thinking we should start by naming those board members. So let's have names to them. Because last year now, I'm not even sure the minutes captured those that didn't present. So this year we are looking for those I'm not even sure exist. So if we can start by stenciling out the directors who did not, or board members, sorry, who did not present today, maybe that will give us an headway. And perhaps since you've also said you have some of them that have tangible disease, I also want to, Mr. President, sir, to ask that we are sure of what kind of excuses that they have. Was the report sent in and they could not come to present, or they did not even send any report at all? Did they have a report to present if those unfortunate things did not happen to them? Mr. President, this is not about ourselves. It is about an organization that will always come and go. However, we take up things like this, we determine what will be done next year. Thank you very much. As per how much will we find them, I think 5K is fair. I think it's fair with the fact that bed is not crying like bed again, and rat is also voiceless. So I believe we can do 5K to be reasonable with them, and so that they will not leave the LO because of the fine of 20K. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you so much. So, the parliamentarian for today, JC Babatunde Odunaya, please rise. Okay, so we want to do hand counts. So if you are in support of 20,000, kindly raise up your hands while our parliamentarian counts. Then after that, if you are in support of 5,000, we'll count. So if you are in support of 20,000, please raise up your hand.
Okay, small. Put down 10. 5K is not punishment. Thank you.
Have you counted? Okay, so if you are in support of 5,000 naira fine, please kindly signify by the sign.
The 5K is small. 5K no be punishment. 5K is small. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, the past president, both members of KCI and leads, KCI Senator seated, past president of KCI, and leads seated, fellow JC's friends, guests, and observers. After the vote was taken, we have 6 people who support the fine of 20,000 naira, and we have 21 people who support the fine of 5,000 naira. Thank you, Mr. President.
So based on the vote, board members that did not present their annual report today shall be fined 5,000 naira, which must be paid before our convention in October. And in the same line, board member that was fined last year and are not paid, and they are yet to pay their fine, will be doubled as accordingly. Thank you. So thank you so much. Then on the other part as to the board members that are yet to present their annual report for record purpose. For 2023 board members, we have the Director of Individual Opportunities, we have the Director of Welfare, we have the General Legal Counsel, we have the Secretary General, we have the Vice President of External Affairs, and we have Executive Vice President. For the past few weeks, I am very sure that the Secretary General has been having some concern, which has affected our being in this meeting or attend some of the things that we have been doing for some time, and he has also given an apology as to why he could not be able to present some things. So those are the lists which I believe should be captured in our minutes. So having done that, these directors will still be required to present their annual report before our convention. The date for the presentation, which will be online, will be communicated to us separately. Thank you so much for that. Then we move on to the next item on our agenda, which is the item 4.2. Item 4.2, which is the nomination committee. Fellow JCs, distinguished guests and friends, when we are having our AGM is actually when we will also be doing election for the new officers in our local organization. And in doing that, the constitution, which our parliamentarian for today will give us, the Constitution provides that we set up a nomination committee to administer our nomination and also the election of the local organization. And as such, nomination committee was appointed, comprising of the immediate past president, the person of JCI and Ambassador Goodness Morakio as the chairman of the nomination committee. We have JCI Senator Adelayo Abbas as the committee advisor. We have JCI and Ambassador Sonny Abiodun as one of the members of the committee. We have JCI and Ambassador Kemi Irioye as a member of the committee, and we also have JC Fumi Fatoberu as a member of the 5-man nomination committee as provided by our constitution. Having said that, for the nomination committee to be able to administer our elections, I hereby call for a motion for the 2023 Board of Directors of Junior Chamber Ibadan Elite to be stepped aside while the nomination committee administers our election. Can I have the chair seeks a motion for stepping aside of the 2020 JCI Ibadan Board of Directors? JCI Senator Adelayo Abbas, you have the floor.
Good evening, Mr. President, board members of JCI Ibadan, JCI Senator President, fellow JCI guests and friends. It's just an information. The nomination committee report should be read to the House and be adopted before the board set aside.
Thank you so much, our very distinguished JCI Senator. And that is why it's always good to have in our midst people of timber and caliber. And as such, I hereby call on the nomination committee chairman for the presentation of the nomination committee report.
Mr. President, board members of JCI Ibadan Elite for 2023, senators in our midst, fellow JCs, guests and friends, talking about timber caliber. My advisor, must I stand? Can I sit?
Please stand.
I shall fuku. Mr. President, candidates for JCI Ibadan Elite for 2024, members of JCI Ibadan Elite, JCs from other local organizations, ladies and gentlemen of the press, and other observers, I say good afternoon to us all. My name is Goodness Morakio, the 2023 nominations chairperson for JCI Ibadan Elite. Mr. President, on my nominations team this year, I have a very distinguished senator of JCI, in person of JCI Senator Adelayo Abbas, as our advisor, who is the 2017 president of JCI Ibadan, our sister chapter. On my list also, I have distinguished past presidents of JCI Ibadan Elite for 2019, in person of JCI Nigeria Ambassador Sonny Abiodun, and also of 2020, JCI Nigeria Ambassador Kemi Irioye. And also on my list, last but not the least, is an alumni member of JCI Ibadan Elite, JC Fumi Fatobel. Here's the report for the nomination on the screening exercise for 2023. According to Article 8.6 of our Constitution, Section 1, states that all nominations for elections offices must be forwarded by candidates to the Secretary General not less than 30 days prior to election date. Mr. President, I want to tell you that we did not receive these nominations in line with Section 1 of Article 8.6 of our Constitution. And before I go on, I would like to, at this point, ask that we move a motion to set aside that part of the Constitution so that we can be able to proceed with this process, knowing fully well that all of the nominations did not come in as at when due. So, I'm not even sure if I should move the river or...
No,
Okay, all right. Okay. So, Mr. President, you have the floor, sir.
Okay. Parliamentarian for today, please rise for clarification.
Thank you, Mr. President, immediate past president, board members of JCI Ibadan, lead JCI senators seated, past president of JCI Ibadan, lead seated, fellow JCs, friends, guests, and observers. Mr. President, if you will recall, we had an emergency General Assembly 2 weeks ago where we moved a motion for the extension of the nomination. So we still have, we had enough time to accept nominations. I believe that we have already done that, sir. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, the parliamentarian. So based on the clarification from our General Legal Counsel, that provision in our Constitution has actually been attended to, and as such, there will be a need for us to move another motion for the waiver. So, Chairman, Nomination Committee, please, you can proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. But I insist that that will be done, because the extension that we had, that we waived, was because we didn't have a candidate for the office of president. What I'm saying is that even for those that we had candidates for, that is the office of EVPs and the VP, we did not receive nominations 30 days before the election date. Mr. President.
Okay, thank you so much for that clarification. As provided in JCI Ibadan Elite Constitution, the chair hereby seek a motion for the waiver of the section of the Constitution, Article 8.6, Section 1, that states that all nominations shall be received 30 days prior to the election should be waived. Can we get a motion for the waiver of that section of the Constitution? JC Babatunde Odinaya, you are the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. One member of the friends, guests, and observers. Mr. President, I, about to do a motion to waive Article 8.6, Section 1 of this Elite Constitution, so that we can move on with the process. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. A seconder for that motion. JC Michael Uwosa. Thank you for that. Chairman of the Nomination Committee, you can proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. So, in line with that, we were able to have nominations for the position of the Executive Vice President, and we had JC Johnson, Babatunde step forward for that. Therefore, Vice President, according to how or when we received the nominations, we had JC Ibukoluwa of Teshile, and we also had JC Fomi Shodipo. However, Mr. President, as at the close of nomination on the 1st of September, we had no nominations for the position of president, and the only officer qualified, because the only officer qualified by constitution to proceed to presidency did not step forward for nominations for personal reasons. So we called for an emergency GA, and we advised the president to call for an emergency GA on the 7th of September to waive the part of the constitution in Article 9.2 that says only persons who have served as EVP can contest for the position of a local president, of a local national president. This emergency meeting, GA waived that part of the constitution and allowed members, and open nominations allowed members who had been vice president to pick nominations for office of the president. This was successful, and we had JCI Simeon step forward to be known as for nominations for the office of the president. Mr. President, members of the GA of the elite, we present to you your candidates for 2024 in the order in which we received their nominations. Vice President JC Ibukun Odeshile, Executive Vice President JC Ilelua Johnson, Vice President JC Fumi Shodipo, and President JC Cynthia Simeon. Members of this GA, the above listed candidates have been screened, they've been questioned, and they are prepared for today's election. The result of our screening process for our 4 candidates is as given below. Office of the President, JC Cynthia Simeon, satisfactory. Office of the Executive Vice President, JC Ilelua Johnson, satisfactory. Office of Vice President, JC Ibukun Odeshile, satisfactory. Office of the Vice President, JC Fumi Shodipo, satisfactory. Mr. President, before we begin to election, and as I run down this report, I would like to start by appreciating all candidates for the bravery and the intent to step forward to lead our election in 2024. I keep saying this and I will say it again. If you truly love JCI, you will always step forward to serve the organization. And let me remind us that this is not a church, it's not a mosque, it's not a social environment gathering, it is a leadership organization. To wrap it up, Mr. President, I would like to, on behalf of my committee for nominations for 2023, extend our appreciation and appreciate the honor to be able to lead this process for this noble organization. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
A round of applause for you. Thank you so much, the nomination committee, for a fantabulous job done, and kudos for the comprehensive report as presented. Fellow JCs, guests, and friends, at this junction, I hereby move motion for the Chair 6 motion from the House for the 2023 Board of Directors of Junior Chamber International Ibadan Elite to be stepped aside to allow the nomination committee administer the election. Motion, please. JC Timothy Olade.
Good evening, Mr. President, immediate past president, these life and elite board members, these are senators and analysts, guest friends and consultants. I, the same hereby move the motion for the board member and this life and elite board member to give their position so that the nomination committee can take their position for the election.
We are not living our best. So please kindly repeat that. For 2020 Board of Directors of Junior Chamber International Organization.
President, immediate past president, JCI Ibadan board members, either senator and analysts, guest friends and IPC or hereby move the motion for JCI Ibadan board members to step aside for nomination committee members for the election.
It's an honor to that, please. Sorry, the man wearing white at the back, I can't see your face. Kindly rise to the JC.